Okay, so today this is what we're going to do. We are going to add samples to use on the Denon DJ Prime 4. Or you can use this also for the Denon DJ Prime 2, Prime Go, and all the other Prime series, okay? But I'm going to demonstrate on a Prime 4, okay? It makes the use of one of your channels. So as I said, on the Prime 2 and the Prime 4, you only got 2 channels, so you're going to have to use one channel. One of the channels that you're using to use a sample. But on the Prime 4 it's got 4 channels, so you can make use of the extra 2 channels, the 3 and 4. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do this for the Prime 4. So basically all it is, it's not actually putting it in the system, it's just using a track. That's all you're doing, yeah. And that track is going to be going to consist of different samples with cue points and the extra use of the active loops as well, because when you trigger the sample with the buttons, with the pads, right, the cue points, basically you don't want it to run on and play on to the next one, or you don't want to have to stop it and then jump back. It's too much button pressing. But if you've got an active loop, what it does, once it's played the sample, it gets to the loop and it keeps looping in the silence. So basically nothing's playing, only until you hit the next cue point it will play. Till it gets to the loop, nothing's playing. Okay, so I'm going to quickly show you how to do this. So I'm going to use Audacity. So I've got on the left of the screen, or right of the screen here, I've got a few samples that we're going to use. So let's open up Audacity with this one, and there we go. So I'm going to make this a bit smaller so you could see how I add them in. Let's get rid of that. That's one I made earlier. Okay, doesn't want to go. But anyway, so what we're going to do, we're going to add another one. So we're going to simply drag it in here, like that. But I don't want to keep it in a separate track. So I'm going to select the whole thing by just grabbing the top of it. Or control, yeah, just grab the top of it. I'm going to cut it. Not copy, cut it. Command X. I'm going to close this track, jump back to this one, go to the end, and then Control V or Command V. There you go. So that's pasted in. You can see it's there. Let's make this smaller again. I like to see everything on the screen. Let's add one more, or a couple more. Add this one. We do the same thing again. We select the whole thing. Command X. Close this. Jump back up here. Make sure you go to the end and then paste. Let's make it smaller to add the next one. Drag this at the bottom here in the blank part. Select the whole thing. X that. Oops, sorry. Forgot to cut it. Then close that track. Go to the end of this one. Command V, and there we go. We have 4 different samples. Okay. So there you go. Just play a little bit of one.
Now you know. Now we can.
So there you go. So they're all in one. So now we've done our job in Audacity. So we're going to export it to a file as an MP3, and then we're going to call this one samples. Saving it to the desktop. Call it samples, so you can see it in the metadata. Okay. So that should turn up soon. Let's close this out. I don't know why that's not closing. No. And let's minimize this. This one doesn't want to disappear for some funny reason. Okay. Let's quit Audacity. No. So now all we need is to go to Engine DJ. So now I'm going to find a playlist to put it into. Let's see what we have. I have one called Jingles already. I'm using Engine DJ version 2.21, and it comes with something. It does something weird. When I scroll down, it keeps jumping up and jumping up and jumping up. So I have to scroll really slowly. Where is my playlist called Jingles? You know what, I don't really use this side. I actually open up the drives and go straight to drives. I've got it selected already. So let's see if my file is there. Samples is there. So let's drag it in to Jingles. Should be at the bottom now. And you've got samples. So what we're going to do, obviously we have to analyze it first. And there we go. You can see it. So let's drag it up here. And it's lined up on the first one already. So what we're going to do, let's add the cue points first. So it's 1 for this one. 2 for that one. 3 for this one. And then 4 for this one. Now we're going to add some loops in. So let's go back to the silent part after the first one. This looks like a nice silent part here. Let's make it just 1. So we add an auto loop there. Save that. And then we're going to make it an active loop. Let's jump to another silent part. This looks nice and silent. Auto loop there, save it, right click to make it an active loop. Let's do one more. Auto loop, save it, right click, make it an active loop. Okay, we don't necessarily need to put one on the end because it's at the end, so let's not waste time doing that. So we've got 3 active loops here. So as you can see, let me give you a little demonstration of how it goes. So let's go back to the first one. So you press that, get to the loop, and there we go. No more sound, okay? Until you go to the next one.
Well, this is none other than DJ Cruiser. Now you know.
So you can leave that, gets the loop, no more sound. Okay, so that's basically how it goes. As you can, and also you can name it to make it even easier for yourself. You can also name these cue points if you know what sounds you want. It names it as well, so that's optional. But I'm not going to do that for now. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate this. So when I plug this drive into my Prime 4, I'll demonstrate it there, but it's basically the same thing. Yeah, so your active loops help you out here. So as I said, you can use this on the Prime 4, all the Denon Prime gear, including the Mixstream Pro, but bearing in mind the 2-channel versions, you have to use up one of your current channels. Yeah, but on the Prime 4 you can have this sitting in your other layers. Like for example, you're on channel 2 and you've got a layer for 4. You can keep this on 4, and whenever you need to get to it, you can just jump to it. Okay, and that's how you can use your samples on your Prime 4. Okay, so it's possible, but that's how you do it. Very simple. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate this on the Prime 4. Okay, so as we jump back to the Prime 4, I've plugged in the drive, and all I have to do now is go to the playlist where the samples are. So I believe I'll put it in here. If I go to Jingles here, I'll scroll down, there we go, samples. So now what I'll do, I'll demonstrate it on the 4th deck, because that'll be, if you're using a Prime 4, you're using layers, that's where you want it to be. You don't want it, you want it to be in the background. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this down, go to settings, turn it to deck 3 and 4. Then now I'll load this samples into 4. So as you can see, the samples there. So at the moment we're not in deck 4, so now you can see that the cube points are lit up, and now it should be able to play. I can still go back and it's in the background. Okay, but watch this. The loop works. Okay, so now you don't have to worry about stopping it. You could just carry on what you're doing and leave it to loop in silence. So when you're ready to hit a next sample, select deck 4. And you can go back to what you're doing. And that's your sample there. And as I said before, you don't have to, because we set up the active loops, you don't have to worry about stopping it. It will loop in silence all on its own. Okay? Another important thing as well, depending on how you use it, as you can see, I've used the trigger option on this one. Yeah? I don't normally use the trigger option, but to get there, to make sure when you do press the Q button, it actually plays. So you need to go back to cues and loops and make sure it's on trigger. Okay? And it will play just like this. And that's how you can use samples on a Prime 4 or any other Prime unit. If it's a 2-channel like the Prime 2 or the Go or even a mixed stream, then you could just use a channel, but at least you know you got your samples. Okay, thanks for watching. If you like what you're seeing, just like and subscribe, and I'll have more tips for you soon. Take care.